Hey everybody, it's Jody Watkins, and today we are diving into mindset. We're going to talk about the differences between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. But first, let's talk about what is mindset. Well, mindset is the established set of attitudes held by a person. So that's whatever your programming is. It's whatever you grew up with. It's whatever you've been around. It's everything that's in you. It influences how you perceive and react to situations. Are you in survival mode? Are you open to new opportunities? What does that look like for you? It was coined by a psychologist named Carol Dweck, and she says mindset shapes how people approach challenges, learning, and success. So I want you to think about this and I want you to drop in the comments like, what are your thoughts on mindset and how does your mindset affect things in your life? I know for me, in my own journey, this has been huge because even though I had the drive to achieve some things in life where it came to, achieving a certain physical fitness level, achieving academic things, I had the ability to do those things because that was ingrained in me at an early age. However, when it came to building a business, building genuine relationships and things like that, I did struggle and I still can struggle. So that's what I want you to think about on today's video. Where are some areas in your life that you excel at, and where are some areas that you might not excel at? And can you take the same principles in the areas that you excel at and move them over to the other areas? That's what I've had to do. All right, so we are going to talk about two different types of mindsets today. Fixed mindset, which that's the belief that abilities and intelligence are static traits that can't change. So a fixed mindset person is someone who says, well, that's just how I am, or I'm not able to do that. They don't even try, right? Um, they just believe that that's who they are. And it's not that they can't change, they're just not willing to change. And I've definitely been that person where I'm like, well, I'll never be able to do that, or yeah, I can't do that, or whatever, right? We find ourselves saying those things, but in all actuality, we are telling ourselves that we can't do it, which means we won't be able to do it. All right. We're going to talk about a growth mindset. Growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. I live that. Okay. I am continuously learning and growing and evolving. And I know that if I can do it, anyone can, which is why I wanted to come back and do these videos and why it became very important to me because I hear a lot of things from people and I just want to be able to show more people that there is absolutely nothing out there that you can't accomplish, that I can't accomplish. The difference is we have to believe that we can do it and we have to surround ourselves and be open to the right opportunities and the right people. Okay. So let's talk again about fixed mindset. Here are some characteristics of fixed mindset. They avoid challenges. They give up easily when faced with obstacles. They see effort as fruitless or a sign of inadequacy. They ignore useful feedback and constructive criticism. And they feel threatened by the success of others. Now, this isn't saying I'm not downing any of the people because that was me. Okay. So I'm absolutely not saying that, you're not effective if you're not thinking in a growth mindset state. What I do know now is you will not get further in life and leave a legacy behind if you are stuck in that fixed mindset. So if you think about it, what are some challenges that you face that you avoid? Is it communicating with others? Is it creating that online course that you've been wanting to create? Whatever that looks like, is it going to the gym? Is it, getting into strength training and not really knowing what you're doing? Is it tracking your foods? Is it, what does that look like for you? What is that challenge? And then ask yourself, am I avoiding it, or am I going on the journey to embrace it? We have to embrace challenges. All right. When you're faced with obstacles, do you quit, or do you ask questions to other people? Do you try to, seek out the proper mentorship? What does that look like for you? When you put effort into things, do you feel like, you know what, that's never going to get anywhere, so why am I even doing this? I have definitely been there. I've definitely had those feelings of, well, nobody's listening to me. What's the point? You know? But now I know that's not true, and that's a lie that I tell myself so that I don't progress in life. Okay. Some beliefs of a fixed mindset is I'm either good at it or I'm not. They're not willing to step outside of the box and surround themselves with people who are good in different areas so they can get better in the areas that they might not be so great at. They're also thinking like my abilities determine everything. So basically what they're saying is what I'm good at is what I'm good at, and that's all I can do. That's just not the way to live, you guys. It really isn't. All right. So let's talk about growth mindset. What are some characteristics of growth mindset? Embracing challenges, not running from them. Persisting in the face of setbacks. You guys, life is going to life. It's going to life every single day. Do we quit, or do we work through? That's the difference. We see effort as a path to mastery. I am one of those people who I actually enjoy going to school. I'm actually applying to go back to school for my doctorate degree. I see that as a path to become better. Okay. I don't believe that we're ever complete masters of things. I don't, there's things that I know that other people don't know, but it's because I've learned it over the years, right? But that doesn't mean I'm a master. So I don't think personally I will get to a point where I'll be like, oh, I'm the master of this. However, I do seek to get as far ahead as I can and become better in areas that I might not be so great at right now. Okay. So seeing effort as a path to mastery. The more I coach others, the more I coach me. I say that all the time. I tell my clients that I'm coaching you, or I'm sorry, I'm coaching me, but you get the benefit, right? I'm coaching me. These are reminders to myself, but you get the benefit. Even these videos, right? This isn't just for you. This is for me also. These are reminders that I need in my life as well. All right. Here's a big one. And depending on how we grew up, this can be very difficult. I was someone who grew up in a pretty toxic household. I could never do things good enough, right enough, right? So, and I got criticized a lot. So it was really difficult later on in life for me to embrace feedback and criticism from others. However, what I'm learning now is if you know the people around you, if you know where their heart is, and you know they're just genuinely trying to help you, embrace the feedback. And it's constructive criticism, right? It's one thing if somebody's coming at you and telling you everything that you're doing wrong. That's toxic. But when someone is genuinely trying to help you become better and says, hey, you're allowing this in your life. I've had people tell me this. You're allowing this. That's what we need to hear sometimes. So we have to be open to that. Okay. A growth mindset also finds inspiration in other people's success. They're not jealous. Don't be jealous. Okay. Collaboration is so much better than competition. We don't have to compare ourselves to each other. What we need to do is embrace our differences and use them for the greater good. That's a growth mindset. The beliefs of a growth mindset are I can learn anything I want to, which is true. If we put our head down and we focus on one area, we can learn it. I have proven this over and over in my life. Also, belief is my effort and attitude determine everything. That is absolutely 100% true. Okay. I know now that every morning I have to get my brain together. I have to get my mind in the right place. And when I do that and I go out into the world and I'm kind and, helping others and just being a nice person, I start attracting that energy back. Okay. So my effort in my own mental health, in my own mindset, in my own spiritual journey, my effort there determines everything. Once I get my mind in the right place, I get my physical in the right place, I get my soul in the right place. It all comes together. Okay. So, how do we begin the journey of going from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Well, the first thing we have to do is acknowledge and embrace imperfection. I always say, I am perfectly imperfect. And I embrace that now, right? We all have flaws and imperfections. There are opportunities for growth and learning. Even doing these videos, I know my videos aren't going to be like some of the other people's videos, but you know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it imperfectly. And that's okay. It's better than not doing anything at all. Analysis paralysis will take us down. Overthinking will take us down. It will keep us from getting further in life. And we absolutely have to stop doing that. Okay. The second way to get closer to a growth mindset is to view challenges as opportunities. Every challenge is an opportunity. We have to reframe our mind to understand that these obstacles are chances to grow. They're not necessarily threats to our psyche unless we allow them to be. Every obstacle we face, you guys, it's an opportunity to grow. The only way to the other side is through. So we have to go through the hard times. And this is where faith comes into play for my life, where I'm like, Lord, I need your help, right? How do I get through this situation? And I've really just learned to lean on God more than anything because that's what I need to do. And I'm also doing a research paper right now where it's proving that faith and mental health go hand in hand. There's a whole lot of studies out there, okay? So I'm not telling you what to believe as far as that's concerned. What I'm telling you is spirituality plays a huge part, a huge role in the ability for us to get further in life, relying on something bigger than us. Because if we rely on ourselves, we are human and we will miss the mark just about every time. Okay. So we have to reframe our mind to understand that these challenges, they are going to make us better. And because I've been through so many of them now, and I'm seeing how the impact on my life has been and how it's grown me, I can now look at obstacles that way because I've already been through so many of them. Another thing we have to do, this is the third thing, replace negative self-talk with positive self-talk. Think about the things that we say to ourselves every day. How do you talk to yourself? How do I talk to myself? Am I always pointing out the negative? Or am I also looking at some of my positive attributes, some of the things that I am good at? Instead of saying, I can't do this, maybe try, I can't do this yet, but I am learning. I'm not good at it yet, but I can get better. When I first started tracking my foods back in 2010, I was not good at it. Okay. I was not good at it. But the more I did it, the better I got. Just like budgeting, just like going to school, just like anything. The more we do it, the better we get. Becoming a certified coach with Convene Communities. When I first came to that resource, that platform, I had no clue how to use it. It was difficult. It was different. But you know how I got better at it? I kept using it. And I asked questions. See, one of the downfalls of a fixed mindset is we also think that we have to figure it out all on our own. And for a lot of us, our upbringing definitely plays a part in that. Because maybe when we were growing up, we did have to figure it out on our own. Maybe we didn't have anybody that we could trust, that we could reach out to, a good mentor or anything like that. So we've grown up in that certain state of mind. But I am here to tell you that can change. We just have to be intentional on wanting to change it. Okay. The fourth thing to start developing a growth mindset is to learn from constructive criticism. See it as valuable feedback, not a personal attack. One of the things that I had to learn in my own journey is not everybody is out to get me. They're really not. A lot of people just want to help me. And, sometimes we have to be careful because people will be telling us everything that's worked for them. And we have to understand that, maybe we're on a different journey and we have to listen to what's in our heart. However, I can't negate things. I can't say, well, that's not what I thought it was going to look like. So I'm just not going to do that. No, I can try. I can dabble. I can see what works. Try different things and see what works, right? But we can't do that if we're not open to our mentors, our coaches, other people. We have to be open to seeing constructive criticism as a positive thing. Okay. Another way to continue towards a growth mindset is to celebrate effort, not just achievement. Celebrate the small wins along the way, not just the big ones. Okay. That's what we tend to do. And that's one of the reasons why we get so burnt out. We get exhausted because we're not celebrating the small wins. We're not celebrating the things that matter. And we're listening to the wrong people sometimes too. Just because success looks different for everybody else doesn't mean that has to be your story. Okay. Number 6, cultivate a love for learning. I always say I'm a student for life. I had a call today with the advisor at the university that I'm applying to, and that's what I told her. I always feel like I'm a student for life. I want to continue to learn. I engage in activities that promote curiosity and learning, and I set aside time to explore new interests and skills. That's what we have to do as well. Time block. I become really good at time blocking, and that's what I always encourage others to do. We have to block our time. If we are trying to learn new things, which we all should be doing, we have to block out the time to do that. The 7th thing, we have to persist through the setbacks. We have to develop the resilience by sticking with tasks, even when they're difficult. We have to also understand that failure is part of the learning process. And honestly, what I always say is it's not failure until we quit. We haven't failed. We might have stumbled. We might have fallen flat on our face a few times, but it's not failure unless we quit. Life, like I said earlier, life is going to life. It's never going to stop lifing. So if we allow every single setback to take us off course, we will never get to the end goal. We'll never get to where God's trying to take us. We'll just never get there because we're allowing the attacks on us to be more important than where we're being led to go. Think about it. Number 8, this is a big one because who you're around matters. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Spend time with people who inspire you and encourage growth, and they support your learning and healing journey. For a lot of us, we're healing. We're healing through our traumas. We are chipping away at years of stuff, of programming, but we can change it. We just have to be around the right people. If I'm around people who are consistently okay with just the way their life is, they're, you know, and there's a lot of people like this. And I do have a couple friends that are just, they're perfectly fine with how their life is. Great. But I can't always just be around that, because otherwise I'm going to get comfortable too. And I know in my life, that's not where I'm supposed to dwell. I'm supposed to dwell in the uncomfort zone where most everything doesn't make sense, but I know that that's how I know that I'm supposed to be there. Okay. So just remember, you have to be around people who are forward thinking, they inspire you. One of my main mentors, Matthew Curran, he's the founder of Convene Communities, the platform that I use for all my coaching, where these YouTube videos will go for more conversation and things like that. He's one of the most inspiring people I know, and he definitely encourages growth. He's the person who told me you don't have to limit yourself, right? And he's helped me get out of that box of I have to be right here, because I was thinking too small. I had a more fixed mindset. But now I'm around big thinkers. My other business partner, Denise Armstrong, big thinkers, big visions. They have to inspire you and encourage your growth. So surround yourself by those people. I want you to look at your immediate circle. Now, minus kids and things like that, but who are we around most of the time? Are they fostering growth in us? Are they encouraging us when we're, hitting hard times? Or are they just sitting back and not being there? Think about who you're surrounding yourself with. Number 9, set learning goals instead of performance goals. This is a big one. And this goes against everything they tell us in business, right? They tell us, make sure you're setting, all these goals for yourself, performance goals, key performance indicators, KPIs, right? Make sure you're setting all these goals. The problem with that is when we're only focused on the performance part, we are not embracing the learning part. There is always a learning curve to the performance goal. For me to be a better speaker, I have to continue learning from people who are great speakers, right? So I can't just focus on being on stages in front of thousands of people and being able to help more people at one time. I have to focus on what can I learn in the meantime to help me get there. So set learning goals, right? Make sure that you're doing that. Focus on what you want to learn rather than what you want to achieve. This can make challenges seem more manageable and less intimidating, okay? When I work with people to help them build things on Convene Communities, I always say, hey, you got to start here, right? This is the learning process. If you don't have a YouTube channel, create a YouTube channel, right? If you don't know how to use certain tools, start there. Don't focus on the course, because now that seems too big. Focus on the steps it's going to take to create that course. Focus on the people you desire to serve and how that's going to also help you, because now you're duplicating yourself. You don't have to be the only one all the time. You are providing a resource for people to access you even when you're not available. So that way you can free yourself up a little bit, spend time with your kids, spend time with your family while you're still helping people in the background. That's the beauty of it. But what happens is a lot of people get so fixated on the entire course, that they're not embracing the steps that it takes to create the course. It's also no different with writing a book. We can get so fixated on getting the book done that we're not embracing the steps that it takes to achieve writing the book, right? We have to embrace the learning. Number 10, and honestly, probably the most important to me, practice gratitude. Regularly reflect on how you appreciate the progress you've made. Reflect on the things that you have around you. If you have a roof over your head, if you have a car to drive, all of those things, if you have a healthy family, you know, it doesn't matter, but you need to make sure that every single day when you wake up, the first thing that comes out of your mouth and into your thoughts is what you are grateful for. And again, I'm reminding myself as well, because I can fall short on this too. But what I do know is when I put that in and I make sure that's my first thought for the day, my day gets better. And I'm able to maneuver around some of the challenges and the obstacles that do come into play. Because, like I said, it's going to happen daily. We don't know what to expect on a daily basis. So we have to get our mind in the right direction. And if we start with what we're thankful for, we can begin to stop thinking about what we haven't achieved yet. So practice gratitude. This can boost motivation and reinforce the growth mindset. All right. Just to encourage those of you who are watching this video, I want you to remember I had to start somewhere too, and I'm still on this journey. Okay. I'm still a work in progress. We all are, if we're being truly transparent. But transitioning to a growth mindset is a continuous journey that we just have to embrace. It does require effort. It does require self-awareness. It does require, like I said, getting around people who will help us and give us that criticism that we need. But the rewards of it, I can speak from personal experience. I'm much more resilient. I'm a lot more creative, I think. And I'm gaining success in different areas of my life because I'm allowing for it now. So I want you to start today by choosing one of these tips, one tip in those 10. Remember that progress takes time, but every small step forward is a victory. I appreciate you watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe for more content on personal growth and development. I invite you to share your own experiences and tips on developing a growth mindset. I will be putting these videos inside of my online community, so I do hope that you will engage there as well. All right. Thank you again for tuning in. Have a blessed day, and just remember, progress is progress, and everything is up to you. So what are you going to do now?